Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Galaxy of Trion. Now, Galaxy of Trion is a game that I reviewed quite a while ago. It was a game that is about controlling different areas of this space sector, and it's a tile-laying game ostensibly, but it's also area control. It has some economics going on. It has some space battles going on. It was a game that really took me by surprise, just because at first it felt really abstracty to me, but after I got into it, it had this kind of economy going on, and it also had this like very, very well thought out, well processed turns that you just were really challenging, and it was one of those games that kept hitting the table over and over again because of the replayability and because of the fact that my friends and we just really enjoyed how competitive it was. Now, I did that old video a long time ago, and I'm going to put the link in the old description box down there on the YouTube page. So if you want to learn how to play the game, go ahead. But right now, Galaxy of Trion has a Kickstarter going on that is like all about just totally upgrading the game and like giving it a ton of super awesome components and adding some expansions in, and if you missed out on the first Kickstarter, this is something you probably want to check out. Now, there's one thing I'm not going to show you, basically because it's so dark, it kind of messes with the white balance of my video a little bit. So, but one of the additions to the game is this super cool like table mat, if you will, that you're able to put, like, and it's super awesome, super colorful, that you can put your Galaxy of Trion, play this on. You can put that over your table, and you can play this tile-laying game with this cool little space background. But anyway, regardless, that's just one of the cool things that they blinged the heck out of the game with. So why don't you, I'll go ahead and I'm going to show you all those different components, and I'm going to show you how those different expansions work as well. So, alright, here we go. So functionally, the game of Galaxy of Trion hasn't changed at all. I mean, the base mechanisms are still the same. The gameplay is the same. And if you go and check out my old video, and I'll put a link to that in the description of this video, if you go and look at my old video that I did, the gameplay is exactly the same. You can kind of check that out, and I can teach you how the rules work. However, with this version, they've really just taken the time to make sure they've really like made it a deluxe version of the game. You know, a lot of the stuff that are cardboard components. Now, admittedly, the old version did have some miniatures, but not to the level that this one has. So, like the different envoys, you actually are going to get, and admittedly, these are not the actual ones that are going to come with the game. These are kind of like 3D printed ones that I got, you know, that they sent me to check out. So, the envoys are going to actually be these little figures. The cool thing, I mean, the ships, you know, like obviously are cool and everything like that. I do like the fact that the envoys of the 3 different races that I got, and admittedly there's a lot more races that are going to come with the deluxe, you know, geeked out version, if you will. They're not the same. Like they could have like just had like the same person standing there doing their thing, but these are 3 different races, and so obviously their envoys are going to be indicative of those different races. The cool thing I think that obviously is for the different like the space stations and the trading ports and the trading posts and things like that are the stackable things, and these are the ones that you're going to be putting on the tiles when you build things up. And once again, that references the old like version of the older version of my videos on. So instead of having like little cardboard, you're going to have these cool stackable creations here that, you know, that each one of these pieces just kind of like fits in another one. And so when you have a full game of this going, it definitely is an eye pleaser as far as when people walk by, they see it, they're like, holy cow, what is this? And they come over and check it out. And it, you know, once again, it doesn't have to have this to be able to be played, but does it look really cool when you play with it? Yeah, it does. And that's definitely a big plus for me. I do like the fact that the races, their special abilities or whatever, are these cardboard tokens that you will like upgrade your races, and you'll have this. And so each side is one of the abilities, and obviously because the tokens like will only fit in, like you can't put this one in this spot, so you have to be able to pick. When you upgrade, you have to pick which one you want, and you put it into there, and then obviously you've made that choice for that game. I really like that. I mean, it's just one of those functional, cool things that just works, and it's you know, kind of inherently clever, if you will. Each race will get its own little draw bag that'll contain its own combat die. You'll be able to put any other of the, like the cardboard tokens and everything that are for that race within that. So when you have it in your box, it's going to be set aside. You get a bag for all the combat tokens that are in here. And like, admittedly, like I said, this is like a prototype that I was sent. So I mean, I can't tell whether or not these combat tokens are going to be the same in the published version, but these are really nice. You get one for, and I did not get the metal coins that are going to be included. I got these plastic ones, which are really cool anyway, but the metal coins, you'll have a cool bag to have those in, and then the draw bag for the minerals that you collect for the extra points, the gems in here, you get a cool draw bag. And so it's just one of those things where, you know, when you sit down and you set up the game, it's going to look really, really nice. And you know, I've always said that I'll play a game with stick figures and paper cards as long as it's fun. But obviously, if you go the extra mile and make it look really cool, you know, that helps you with the immersion and with the fun and just with the whole aspect of kind of like, you know, I don't like calling it playing with your toys, but when you have really cool minis, it kind of feels like that, right? And it definitely does add to the experience. So anyway, those are the components. I just wanted to show you those really quick. Now let me talk to you about the 3 little mini expansions that you're going to get, that you can expand on the base game. So as I said, there are 3 expansions that are added to the game. And these are little mini expansions that you can take or leave as you desire with the base game. The first one is just called the Expand Your Galaxy. And that is just another big stack of tiles with the same stuff that you have seen in the base game. But you're just going to get more of it. More planets, more nebulas, more gas, you know, more of the trade posts, things like that, that you're gonna find in the game. And then you just can go ahead and throw these into the giant stack and use them as you will. Now the second one is the Wormholes expansion, and so you're gonna get 4 of these tiles, these wormhole tiles, and you can see there's the wormhole on these, that you add to the pile once again. And on the backs there are no wormholes, so if you decide to use them or not, it's up to the players when they place the tile. And you're just going to place these onto the board. Now, they ostensibly they work the same as a teleport tile. They function by the same rules, with one big difference. So, and I'm not going to build this correctly. So, mind you, just don't hold me to this here. So, normally, like a teleportation tile affects the tiles around it like so, right? But what the wormhole tile does is like effectively it doubles that. So, and once again, I'm not building this correctly. So when you have a wormhole, it affects all of those tiles around it instead of just these 3, and so it kind of expands that out, and and it's just a more powerful version of the teleporter. All right, so that is the second expansion. Now the last expansion is called the Wealth of the Ancients, and what you're going to get is you're going to get these tiles that are going to have these crystals on them. They're either going to be sun tiles or they're going to be nebula tiles. And like obviously you can see the big giant crystal there in the middle of the nebula, but on the sun tile it's kind of tough to see, but right there you can see a crystal as well. And so once again, like you can, when you place these, you don't have to use the side with the crystal, but I always do because the crystal is awesome. So when you place the side with crystal, you also are getting these giant gems. And what you're going to do is you're going to place, when you place it, whatever's left, you can just take whatever color you want and you place it in that tile. That can't ever be collected. It sits there for the rest of the game. However, whoever controls the area that has this giant gem on each one of their smaller crystals, their smaller minnows that match the color of that, are increased in a victory point by 1. And if you controlled, like, say, all 3 of these, you know, then, and you had 3 of those, all of your blue crystals would be worth 3 extra victory points each. So you can see that when we put this into the game, we played it, these are very, very hotly contested because of the fact that it can really get exponential as far as the victory points that you can achieve as you play the game. So that is probably the one that changes the game the most, and it adds the most to the game, and probably, in my opinion, is like the most fun of the 3. But, you know, I'm the kind of guy that throws all the expansions in all the time whenever I play any type of game, because I just want more stuff going on. And I found it to be a lot of fun when I do that. So there you go. That is the upgraded, super awesome version of Galaxy of Trion. I strongly suggest you go ahead and check that out on the old, like either the Board Game Geek, or go onto the Kickstarter page and check that out. And if you have the base game already, you can get an upgrade pack, so you don't have to buy the entire thing. But if you missed out on the first Kickstarter, this is an excellent chance for you to go ahead and just buy all in and get all the cool stuff in one fell swoop. So, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, you have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.